Welcome back to the Sispatch with
Bevin
and Jasmine. Finally, for anyone who's able to see it on their computers, we are recording. However,
temporary setup now.
This is a very temporary setup. We are currently on the floor in my sister's room
using a 2016 MacBook, so this is as good as it's gonna get for now. Just kidding, until we're at our actual... The reason why we're in the bedroom is my husband's home and he's watching a soccer match, and I just didn't want to send him to the bedroom in timeout, so
that was a smart call.
So we're in the bedroom in timeout.
We're in the bedroom in timeout. But today, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about something that's kind of cool, I guess.
You say that every time. Kind of cool.
I mean, it's kind of cool, but I guess in terms of, I guess it just depends on what people think is cool. But
it's cool. That's what I'm talking. No,
I don't have my water with me. It's behind me.
Okay.
Taylor Swift reference number 1. Today we are talking about adulting. Oof. You don't look so excited.
No, I mean, I don't cringe about adulting. You cringe about being an adult. I'm like in adulthood already for like the past decade, so I'm good.
I mean, well, but same.
20? You consider yourself fully adulting at 20?
Legally, I'm an adult.
Well, legally, but like in your brain, were you an adult at 20?
In my brain, I'm not an adult right now.
Oh, I'm an adult. I felt like I was an adult when I had my first kiddo.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
But I guess that brings us to our first question. When you were younger, in comparison to now, is there one thing that you didn't enjoy when you were younger that you enjoy now?
I mean, like being able to decide and like schedule out my weekends. I don't know. It's something so basic, but like before, mom and dad would be like, "We're doing this," and like
your schedule's planned
out. Spend a whole Saturday at Costco. Like that's it. That's our Saturday.
The Saturdays at Costco were hilarious because we would not go to Costco assuming we'd be there all day.
I assumed we'd be there all day.
Well, mom would always say, like, we're just going to get bananas. And then she would go in with the flatbed.
Well, that's your first mistake right there.
I guess that's true.
But
I know better.
Yeah. So now we can do, like, I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, for the most part. Just, of course, we have kids, so that's a little bit different. But we can, like, if mom and dad tell us, like, oh, do you want to do this? I can tell them no and not feel guilty.
See, that's you. On for me, they're like, do you want to do... My mom will ask me when I'm in town. She's like, do you want to go to Costco with me? And I'll be like,
free things.
My first thing, yes, is as an adult, I'm like,
free
yes.
Costco trip. Yeah.
I'll definitely love to go to Costco with you. But then if I'm not in the mood to go, I will feel bad if she says, like, okay. And I think our mom does this thing where she's like, I just didn't want to go by myself. Just saying.
And
I
think it's with you. She doesn't ever do that with me.
It's the most hilarious thing.
Issue.
She's funny. She's a wild one.
I'm trying to think of if there's anything else though. I mean, like, obviously, like, I make my own money now, so like
adult money.
I can prioritize what I want to spend my money on and what I don't want to spend my money on. So
what is stuff that you are using your adult money on? Tech? Like
keyboards?
Keyboards?
Mechanical keyboards?
I think when I had COVID one time, my sister just FaceTimed me and all she did was build a keyboard and I was pretty much dead.
Yeah.
but she
Brandon was there too.
Yeah, you guys were on FaceTime and it was completely silent for all of us.
It was like my first or second keyboard, so it took me like an hour or two to like make a keyboard.
I'm pretty sure I fell asleep.
Yeah, you were not interested. Brandon though was like, he was into it with me.
I think I was
asking him questions, that's why he was helping me through it.
Oh, I see. But technology is something that you use.
So tech, faster internet, and the internet that I want, none of that. Dude, millennials out there, you understand. Internet back in the day was like
the dial-up.
Well, not only dial-up, but like I don't know if it was like called like DSL. Was it called DSL? I don't know. was the one that just would constantly shut down, and I'd have to. My mom and dad didn't know what to do, so they'd tell me call AT&T, and I'd call them, and they would be like, "Okay, we're gonna reset your internet," and it would like work for 20 minutes, and then it would go down again.
I think also in that time, I'm sorry, there's something in my eye, but our house was long because was that after our renovation?
This is not talking about Wi-Fi. This is just our desktop internet.
Plugged
like into
wired
the wall.
in.
It would just shut off, and I would have to fix it every single time. And I hated AT&T, but now AT&T Fiber, sponsor your girl. Just kidding. It's that's what we're on now. Finally on a fiber internet, and it's changed my life.
I mean, I guess that's a very good thing to spend your adult money on. Did you, when you first got a job, were you in that mindset of, I need to save my money, or, oh my gosh, I get to spend my money on all the cool things that I want to do?
I'm very much a spend within my budget. Like, I don't have, I mean, like, you have a little bit of debt here and there when you buy like big purchases, but for the most part, I don't spend money that I don't have because I don't want to be in debt. And I don't know if that's like something that was ingrained to me. Like, I don't want to owe somebody anything, so I'm always like just spending what I have.
I see. Is that something that you've learned, or something that since the beginning?
Because mom and dad never really like were like tight with their money. Like, you can't buy that, like it's too much. But they also weren't like somebody that would like, let's go on a cruise that we can't afford.
Yeah.
So we were right in the middle of that. But for me, I think it was just a personal thing. Like, I didn't like to spend money I don't have. Or like, I would always ask myself, like, am I going to regret this in 30 minutes, like buying something? And sometimes I would still make those purchases, and then like 30 minutes later, like, this, I have buyer's remorse. So you learn from that. And so as I've gotten older, I know to like take a pause and like add it to cart, but then like walk away and then come back the next day or something.
I mean, I literally had that moment like, what, a week or two ago, and I think we were just talking about this before we started recording, but I wanted the new-ish AirPod Maxes or whatever.
I think they're gonna be upgraded soon, so don't buy them. I forgot to tell you that.
Okay, noted. But I mean, I was in the store and I was ready to drop however much money on these headphones that I didn't necessarily need, but I just wanted it, and I wanted it so bad. But I got in the car and I was like, that probably was the best thing for me to do.
It's hard because this is a kind of a tangent, but both myself and you, we're like heavily in the Apple ecosystem already. So convenience wise, it makes sense because it would connect to everything that we have already.
Yeah.
But price wise, man, it's like, how much better are these headphones than like the Sony XM5s that I have? And like every review that I said is like, it's not like $200 more worth that difference of the price.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I went with the Sonys, because it's like, if it's not that big of a dip, or if it's like it really is like overcharged, then like how much of the convenience is it worth for me?
Yeah. Is it worth the same plug as my other stuff? Sort of thing.
And just for reference, listeners, I have the Sony XM5s and I've had no issues. It connects to my phone, my computer. It's great. I have never tried the AirPod, what is it, AirPod Maxes?
I have no idea what the actual name is.
I think it's called Apple AirPod Max.
I keep thinking of it as like Pro Max.
Yeah, no.
Like
Super Max.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, no. I haven't had any issues, but they do look so nice.
The Apple ones?
Yeah, the Apple ones.
They do.
I do like my
really
Sonys
nice.
though, how they're cream.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think I've gotten the opposite, and this may be my younger sibling brain sort of at work in this sort of stuff, but you've got the like the reservation, I'll say, when you're purchasing things, but I think I have the it's like I don't think about the buyer's remorse initially, and then it happens and I'm like, oh snap.
Like, you're impulsive.
Yeah. Yes.
No, that's not a younger sibling thing. That's just a you thing.
Oh.
You're an impulsive shopper.
I mean,
hit your girl up if you want to sell something.
But I mean, there's things that I don't regret, but then there's things that I'm like, oh, I probably could have waited, or I probably didn't need.
I'm an impulsive buyer when it comes to like new tech. Like if it's something that like I really am impressed by when they like
launch it.
I get FOMO really bad. But I've gotten better as I've gotten older with it, because like the what is it, the Apple, the VR, not interested at all.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, it's cool. Then they showed it was like what, $5,000 or something crazy, and I was like, not that cool.
I mean, I got my fix watching like all the YouTube people like, review it, and I think that's something maybe you put me onto, where you like watch the reviews.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
online.
Before I would just purchase before even like reviews would come out.
Yeah,
like the new iPhones, I would like every other year I was getting a new iPhone, just because like that's what I do, is every other year get the new iPhone. But I haven't gotten one in forever. This one is a 2020, the iPhone 12. And I haven't upgraded since then.
I think I've upgraded twice.
But the battery's starting to die. So I think this year is the year Bevin gets a new iPhone.
I mean, you heard it here first, everyone. I think
that's the first time though I've skipped it like twice.
I mean,
but the upgrades aren't as like impressive as they used to be either. So
something that I found myself enjoying, and maybe this is since I've moved out of my parents' house for the first time, is I've enjoyed, and I know for a fact that you can relate to this because I've seen you post on social media before, my excitement over a vacuum. Like, that is
cleaning tech.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah.
When I bought my I have a Dyson, I only need to vacuum one room.
That's another brand, is the Dyson. They are so expensive for their things. For the vacuums, I don't know if they're worth the price tag, but the fans and the heaters and air purifiers, I 10 out of 10 recommend.
I have both the Dyson cordless vacuum. I don't know which version I have, but I also have the hot cool. And I think living in a warmer climate than our hometown, like, it saves my butt more than once a day.
We use the heater in the winter like all the time.
Well, see, where I live right now, it's either freezing cold or burning up like the Jonas Brothers, and there's no like in between really. For instance, we're just coming out of like the winter months, and next week already is going to be in like the hundreds, and I'm like, I'm not ready for it. And then we had cooler weather, and then
are we talking about weather right now?
We are talking about the weather right now.
Can we skip this?
But I mean, I guess it's part of adulting, right? Something you think of, you plan that.
I guess so. Maybe your type of adulting. So yeah, lots of tech. I get adult now. I get excited for cleaning tech or like new ways to clean. They have like Abyssal like carpet cleaner, spot cleaner that I appreciate now, so I don't have to wash my whole carpet. That's cool. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's in my cart. I'm watching the price.
Do you get those notifications when it's like a thing in your cart has?
Yeah, that's how I got the Sony XM5s on a big discount, as they went on sale like randomly, and I just swooped them up.
I think I'd never understood the idea of like sales when I was growing up, and as an adult now, I'm just like, wait, is there any major holiday coming up?
Even that is like a scam, because I feel like there's better sales like randomly. Yeah. Than on Black Friday or like Christmas time.
But still, sometimes 10% is 10%.
10% is like nothing. I see a 10% sale and I'm like, meh. I'm not gonna go to your store ever again. But even that's like, what is it called? It's disrespectful to offer me just 10%.
So, what is something that you have learned about yourself as you've gotten older? And we'll say that it's not necessarily about the world, but about yourself.
That I don't have to give my, like, what is it called? I don't have to give my time to something that isn't worth it. And by that, I mean, like, stressing out about something that's, like, minor, or, like, getting anxiety about, like, something that's like way like not even in my future, but like just thinking about something would like get me all nervous. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned. I think just time, and like we don't get time back. So like, why spend our time now worrying about something that hasn't happened yet, or something that's not worth even getting frustrated over.
Yeah, I think I might be currently in that stage of life where I'm learning that. In addition to understanding that I can't control other people's actions, and I can only control how I react or how I present myself and how I want to feel about a situation, and not being able to say like, why are they not happy for me, or why is this person feeling this way when I want them to feel that way, or why a situation didn't go the way I wanted it to go, and understanding that it's okay and that you move on, and like you said, it's not worth your time and your energy to really sit and sulk and be petty and frustrated for things that you can't control.
We tell our oldest kiddo that all the time when like he's getting mad at a video game. It's like, it's literally not worth like getting upset about. Like, they're like, go be happy doing something else.
I mean, when you're young, like anything and everything is like the end of the world. And I think now I'm like, but was it really that big of a deal? I still have a hard time understanding sometimes, but I mean, I guess that is part of growing up.
Yeah.
But
I tell people all the time that, and like, I know we were kind of talking about it earlier, where like you were saying like you don't feel like an adult. Like in my brain, like I don't feel any like more like wise than I was when I was 20. It's just I've learned a little bit more on how to like deal with being me. Does that make sense?
You're understanding yourself more.
Yeah.
I think that makes perfect sense.
It's not like even I talked to Dad about this. I was like, I still feel young in my mind. Like, I know I'm like well into my 30s now. I still feel young. And our dad is what, 70 something?
74?
Yeah, 74. And he was like, he feels the same way. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's just like, he just
rolling with it.
Yeah, learns as he goes. And he's 74. So I think it's just, that's how everybody is. Like, people that put the idea that like they got it all like figured out, like they're just on the same boat as we are.
Yeah.
Like, we're no different. We're all just doing our best.
We're all just doing our best.
Yes.
That's the motto of adulting, I guess you can say. Is there a difference, you think, from what you thought your life was going to look like when you were younger versus how you're living it now?
I could never have guessed in a million years where I would be right now when I was in high school.
How so?
Like just relationship wise and location wise, and that like I would have never had guessed. And that goes more back into like my personal story with my husband. Like, who would have thunk? Like, honestly,
who would have thunk? Couldn't have been me.
And we'll get into that another time, I think. But
yeah, that's another episode.
That's a whole episode in itself. What about you?
I mean, truthfully, when I was younger, I used to think by 21, I was like, I'm gonna move out of this house.
I'm gonna have my own house.
I'm gonna be married. I'm about to be ready to have my own kids. Like, thinking all of the things we're gonna just work out at a very young age. And maybe to a fault, to where I was like, why aren't they happening in the way that I expect them to? And again, that's something that I have to learn to let go of. But I definitely thought like, I'm gonna be like set up. I'm gonna have my dream job. I'm gonna be out of this house. I'm gonna be married and all the things. Thankfully, that didn't happen, I guess, because in that point in time of my life, like, I was a hot mess. I mean, I'm a mess now,
but
to
go through a lot to get to where you're at now.
Exactly. And
mentally,
I'm happy that the things that I wanted for myself didn't happen
at that time.
Mainly because there were lessons that I had to learn. There was people that I had to meet. There were people I had to let go of. And also just things I needed to understand about myself and what I am able and capable of doing.
Yeah.
And I mean, on the side, it's just like my interests have changed. My personality has changed. Not a lot, but
that's another good question. Like, do you feel like what are the big like personality things that have changed from like high school, middle school Jasmine to present Jasmine?
I mean, honestly, I think at the surface of it, I'm like, I'm the same. I think I'm still the outgoing, probably annoying, and maybe non-filter. But at the same time, I think the Jasmine that was in high school didn't understand, or maybe didn't even want to understand, that sometimes things don't work out for you. And I think that's something that I had to learn the hard way. And I always tell people, like, as cliche as it is, like, you have to think of yourself as like the main character of your own story, but that doesn't mean that your storyline is going to be perfect every single day. When you watch a movie, you know, the character goes through ups and downs, and they have a major down and then only to be picked back up again. But your like happily ever after is going to look different, and your life continues. You know what I mean? But when I was younger, I would always tell myself, like, and I'm not to blame or to point fingers at in a negative way, but I mean, as far as love life goes, like, our parents set an amazing example of what love in a marriage should look like in a household. And I'll even extend it out to you and Thomas. You're my only sibling, and I had so much expectation of what my love life was going to look like based off of the two that were the most impactful in my life, which was you, Thomas, and mom and dad. And
for reference, I started dating my husband when I was 13, so you were 10. So you've known him since you were 10.
Yes, and I hated his guts.
No, you didn't. You loved him.
No, I hated his guts.
True brother-sister relationship.
He's aight now, but like before, I remember being so frustrated. But even though I was so, at the time, at 10 years old, 11, 12, I was like, that guy sucks, you know? I was still looking at you as my older sister.
Well, it's because he treated me well, and like I treated him well, and vice versa for like our parents too.
Yeah, and I think I had to swallow the fact that my love life was not going to mirror your guys' relationships.
It's all different.
And I think I had it in my head, not only in your like relationships with your husband and mom and dad or whatever, but even in friendships. Like, I'm a younger sister looking up to some amazing people, and I want to be like that.
Yeah.
But as I grew and as I've adulted into who I am today, it's like I can do things differently than how one mom and dad did and how you and Thomas have done it. But I can make it my own, and it's still okay.
Yeah.
And there's still power and strength in the struggles and in the hurt part that I, at the age of 20, 21, didn't understand, or like I said, was like, well, that sucks that my life is ruined now because this person doesn't emulate the kind of love that I've grown up looking up to. But I mean, that's a very complicated version of it. But I think a lot of what if you're looking at younger Jasmine and Jasmine now, is just understanding a little bit more about how relationships aren't the end all be all of a person's personality. And I think there's a lot of backing behind that. And as my personality still shows, I'm still the same outgoing. I'm still the same, like, almost carefree, no filter Jasmine. But I have a lot more awareness of myself and how I feel, and how the things I do can affect how I'm feeling tomorrow. But also how the things I do will affect my circle or the people around me.
Picture,
but I think that's just a generalization of that. But to put it simply, I don't think I've changed, but I've changed. I've changed a lot of ways, and I've grown in a lot of ways, and I think I've become stronger.
I feel like for me, I don't look at myself in the mirror enough, because I don't even know like what I was in high school, or like I can say what I like how I am today, but I don't know like how I was then.
Mean.
I was not mean.
You were mean
to
me.
you. I was mean. Yes. Yeah. So I can't. I don't know. I feel like you were saying, like I'm more self-aware now. And I think that has to do a lot with like parenting also on my part. So I think I'm a little bit more serious than I used to be. But I'm still awkward. I'm still like an introvert kind of.
We're very much opposite in that way.
Yeah.
We feel in the
I always tell people I'm an extroverted introvert. Like I'll do fine in like social gatherings and stuff, but if it's like a bunch of people I don't know, like I dread it. Yeah. Where you are like, let's go.
I think that's something I've also had to understand in other people, because I'm so,
You're a people person.
Full force people person, outgoing. Like even Brandon now, like I still have to remind myself that sometimes people don't feel comfortable talking to other people. And that is okay.
I think somebody told me once, they're like, why are you so antisocial? I'm like, I'm not antisocial. I just get drained by like talking to people all the time. Even if it's like family, like if I'm with our family for like a certain amount of time, I'm like, I'm ready to go to my, I used to go to my bedroom in high school and just like close the door. Like it's too much sometimes. I just need my space. And Thomas is very much the same in that, like he needs his space. So we complement each other in that, like when he's ready to go, I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to go too.
Yeah. I think I've ironically, I have such an outgoing personality that I've noticed I've surrounded myself with people that are more like you and Thomas, where they kind of like will either seclude their time and embrace their time alone, to do whatever they need to do, or like have to limit their time with what they need, with the people that they're at. And I think because I'm so like out there, I'm like, but why?
Yeah.
I've had so many like jokes with Brandon about how he's like, I don't know how to talk to this person, or like, I'm scared to go through the drive-through because I don't want to. And I'm like, why? Why are you so scared? But I'm understanding. Maybe I wouldn't have understood before, and I used to just think that those people were like weird. But now I'm like, no, that's actually who they are. And like,
it's nothing personal.
Nothing personal, and it's not a bad thing for someone to just need their time and to take time to process a situation. And even in that, like my processing of a situation is completely different from not only the people that I know, but even the Jasmine that I was when I was younger.
She processes impulsively.
Yeah. When people want to argue with me, I just want to say it right then and there. I'm very much confrontational in that way. I'm just like, tell me now.
She'll call me up and she'll say, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll say something and then she's like, okay, bye. She doesn't want to hear what I have to say.
Yeah, when you or Dad especially, when I'm on the phone with you and you guys give me some sort of like indication that you're like,
you're wrong.
Either I'm wrong or like you're over the conversation, then I get mad. I'm like,
okay, bye.
Yeah, why? I'm not going to waste my time here then. What in the world? But that's on me. I'm not saying sorry, but but I think that's definitely something I've grown into, is to understand how that works in me and other people.
Yeah. Is there anything you miss about being young? I miss not like just living, not having to worry.
Existing as a child.
Literally.
I mean, I think I agree. I'll see like your kids and they have like not a care in the world, and I think that's an amazing thing to show, as far as,
or like they're like, I'm or what do they say? I'm to have to do so much. It's like, we just asked you to like take the trash out. Like, I wish that's all I had to worry about, is just taking the trash out.
Oh my gosh, I asked.
I never get to do anything fun as I sleep over at Mom and Dad's.
Yeah.
4 nights in a row. I never get to do anything.
With the VR headset on there. I'm frustrated, I'm bored. I'm like, are you bored?
Yep.
That's definitely something that I guess is different. I enjoyed also existing as a child. Like I said, not a care in the world and not having to, I think we were like, oh man, school sucks. But like,
I think I remember it was like a couple, like, it was like, I don't know if it was before or right after I graduated. My brain switched to like I got to do something now. Like, I can't just like go to school every day. Or even if I was going to college, it's like, it's not like government mandated school.
Like if I chose not to go today, there's no real repercussion from it, but there is repercussion. Go to school, kids.
Or get
college
a job.
Kids,
or get
a job. Yeah, I think honestly that's actually a great point. When I graduated high school as well, I started college and I just knew that like schooling wasn't for me.
College dropouts.
I am a college. You graduated some sort of college? Right?
Nope. I never finished. Well, mine was like a tech school, but it's not really college. It's
I mean,
like
you had a ceremony,
school.
so I think it counts.
Medical billing.
But I think when I graduated high school and started I have some college under my belt, but I don't have a degree or anything like that. But I just knew, I was like, I probably should start working now. and that's not because I'm stupid, and it's not because I can't learn anything. It's just I'm like, that's not what I want to do. My drive was to work. And at the time I was only, working as a hostess in like a restaurant, but it gave me a little bit more purpose than driving to a school and sitting in a class and learning about more math that I wasn't comprehending. But I was also like,
I don't know if this is even on top. I don't even remember what our topic is, but just talking about like schooling, like I was a great student. I am a great student. Like I got good grades. My teachers love me, whatever. I was more than qualified to go to like a 4-year if I wanted to, but I didn't know what I wanted to. Well, I did know I wanted to do, but there was nothing. There was no degree at that time for what I wanted to do.
Was that more like marketing based or what you're doing now?
It is
graphic design.
Well, graphic design, marketing, but it wasn't for that era.
It wasn't ready yet.
It was not ready yet.
You were.
So I didn't know, like I could go to school for graphic design or computer engineering or whatever, but it was so niche into like that specific time frame. So if I told them I want to make graphics for people, they would teach me art, like pen and paper art, not multimedia digital. So it was like, or like I took a Photoshop class and it was like how to like airbrush photos. I don't want to airbrush photos, like, you know what I mean? Like it was a different type of. Now I think they actually offer courses, but even then you don't know like what your professor's background is. Well, you might know the background, but they might not be what is it called, experienced in the softwares that I want to be using. So it was very much like self-taught, and that's how I like just got into what I was doing.
I think that's the cool part about what you're doing now is most of it is self-taught.
Because I took so many classes in college. I was close to getting my AA, but I just felt like I was spinning my wheels to get something that I would never use in the field that I wanted to. So then I was just like, okay, backup plan, medical field. And it worked for me for that time that I needed it, but I was able to jump ship, thankfully.
I mean, good for you.
Yeah.
And thanks for taking me with you for a little while.
And then I fired you.
And then you fired me again for another episode. I think what I wrote down here doesn't really make sense to me now, but I think it's funny.
Okay.
All I wrote down was adulting cliches, ? Is there anything as far as a cliche thing?
Taxes suck.
Taxes do suck. I don't even do them.
I do mine.
I mean,
I am a self-employed business. So self-employed business. I own my own business. So I have to do them on my own. And it's
hard.
Well, we have to pay quarterly.
Oh.
So, because it varies how much I'm making a month. So I have to pay quarterly. Oh, taxes suck. They don't teach you anything in high school about taxes. They don't teach you anything about property tax in high school. They don't teach you anything about getting a loan in high school. They don't teach you any of that.
They taught me how to look for stocks in high school.
Well, I mean, that's actually pretty good that they taught you that. They didn't teach us that.
No, they taught us.
It's pretty relevant. They don't teach you how to open up an IRA account in high school. They don't teach you nothing.
I don't even know what anything of it is.
Or like, thankfully, since I was in the medical field and you worked in it for a little bit and you had mom to kind of explain it, they don't teach you anything about like looking at your insurance premiums or like choosing the best plan for you or like deductible. Like in high school, that's like all foreign language. You have to learn that when like you go to the doctor and they're like, oh, you have a $35 copay. And you're like, huh?
What's a copay?
So it's just all those like that. I don't know if that's a cliche, but those are the things that like they're important and our parents told us it was important, but you don't know until like and it's unfortunate. I kind of feel like they should have like a adulting 101 when you like are in high school.
You'd think that they would do something like that.
Taxes, what is the other one? Taxes,
laundry.
Laundry's not I mean, laundry sucks. Yes, everybody has piles.
It's an adulting struggle for me though.
It's when you go on trips with your suitcase, and then you come home with your suitcase,
and you don't want to unpack it.
It's mine's in the guest room, just sitting on the bed. I'm just pulling out of it right now.
I've said so often that like the bane of my existence is coming back from a trip and having this whole suitcase of clothes, and I'm like, I don't want to pull them out. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do the laundry.
Now picture having 3 kids. It's all mixed in there, and if you don't have a dirty clothes bag for some reason,
oh my gosh, everything's
all
dirty.
Mixed. It's all just mixed.
I'm literally going to a week-long thing, an event in a couple of weeks actually, and I've been making a list on Notion of like things that I need to bring, and like I consistently forget an extra one because I'll bring bags for this or this or this, but then I always forget like my hamper or like something to bring for that stuff, and I'm like, bring for your dirty clothes and separate it out.
Yeah. Another one is, I remember we used to like, I still do get frustrated with mom and dad when like they forget stuff. Mm-hmm. But man, when you get older, your brain cells are just like,
it's not even your brain.
Floating
it's
off.
Not even just your brain. It's everything. And it's something that I've laughed at and joked around about until I hit 30, and I was like, oh, this is not a joke anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's
and then
not a joke.
Your back going out. I took a trip to her to see the Jonas Brothers concert. My back was out because I sat in the car too long. Mm-hmm. So and now I have to have cushions.
Sorry.
It's so or there was a weekend when I was like, I'm just gonna be cozy and sit in my blanket and read all day. The next day my back's out because I sat too long in one spot. Like, it's horrible. So kids, enjoy it now.
No, that is very cliche. And
Thomas is, he'll sneeze. He sneezes with his whole body. He'll sneeze, his neck's thrown out.
Poor guy. It's real. It really is.
Adults are not exaggerating.
No, not at all. I'm
like, did you pack the aspirin? It's in the front seat. Thomas, he's like, ready in the front seat.
No, but I mean, I've had so many conversations, like, because I turned 30 last year, mm-hmm. and leading up to my birthday, it was like the running joke that everyone would ask, how old are you turning? And I'm like, I'm going to be 30.
Everything's going to break.
They would start laughing. They're like, oh, get ready. Yep. Oh, I hope you have this, this, and this, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah.
It's equivalent to people telling you when you're pregnant for the first time, like, oh, sleep when the baby's sleeping. Like, shut up. But
can't relate.
But they're right also. But they are right. And don't tell me about sleeping when the baby's sleeping, because I can't sleep when the baby's sleeping. But you are right. I do need to sleep.
The weekend after I turned 30, I was walking into work, and I have a little bit of ways to walk before I get into the office. And I was like, oh, everything's fine. Like, it's cool. And all of a sudden, my knee just goes as I'm walking, and I'm like, oh no. And I was like, it really started. Yeah. And so even before I came here, I was at our parents' house.
I feel my back right now. I'm sitting on the floor. We need to wrap this up. I need some cushion.
No, I was sitting at mom and dad's house, and dad has that massage.
Oh. Dad on the couch. Oh, yeah.
And like, I was like, I had it over my neck, and I was like trying to maneuver it in a way that it was going to hit the spot that I needed.
Your dad does this. You're old when you take anything that you can find and try to massage your back with it. He takes the kids' toys, like stuffed animals and stuff.
You're not ready. I was at work, and I don't have any like large object to like move. I took a hand sanitizer bottle and just poked myself in the neck.
That's when you know you're old. You're just like, I need something. I needed to like counter pressure somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I was this close to asking one of the boys today, like
press on you.
I said, who has clean feet
to step
on? And they all said nope.
Oh yeah, no, my kids have the dirtiest toes ever.
But I mean,
to no fault of their own, they just like to be barefoot.
They're boys.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that is something as I've grown older that I'm learning. I'm like, oh my God, my body. Mm-hmm. One, I've cherished the way that I felt when I was younger.
But it's changing.
It's changing, and my metabolism is different. Mm-hmm. My sleeping is different. The way I breathe is different. Even as I sleep, I'm like, wow, there's a lot. And I think my health, like
the journey to find the perfect pillow. We've gone through so many pillows.
I literally threw out like 4 pillows last week
That's adulting right there. Trying to find the right pillow. Before you could sleep on the floor, no problem.
Now,
Yeah,
I know.
Now, forget it.
I know. There's a pillow for everything.
You'll be wheelchaired around.
I even sleep with a heat pack sometimes.
See? It happens. It's getting old.
I don't know. My body hurts. And even as we're sitting here, my wrist is hurting.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's a good place. We can wrap this up. Did you have any other questions?
No, I don't. I think it's just time for us to go.
Do you have any rapid fire things?
Do you?
Since we're talking about just getting older, right? That's what the topic was?
Yeah, adulting. Getting older.
Your favorite adult gadget?
My favorite adult gadget? Oh. I have a squeegee.
I'm gonna pee myself. Squeegee. Out of everything, you want a squeegee for the shower? You don't even wash your dishes and you like a squeegee?
For the shower, because you don't want the water to like get and stay on the wall. So after I've been showering, I take a squeegee and I go down the whole, even the liner. I'll squeegee the liner because I don't want mold.
Can't relate. Like, give me all the mold.
What about you? Any adult gadget?
My favorite gadget right now. Shoot. I'm like, all I can think about is like my air fryer and the KitchenAid mixer. I don't ever cook though. That's the thing. Like, is it really my favorite? I mean,
if you use it occasionally, I'm gonna accept
banana bread. The KitchenAid, I use the banana bread to mix the dough up.
Oh, you need to make banana bread.
I made it twice already. We took it on a trip, and Tom's was like, "This is our new tradition."
Well, can you make some when I'm here? Though?
Our bananas are not overly
I'll
ripe.
get you some overly ripe bananas.
I
don't know.
Figure it out. Dude, I have so many gadgets that I like, but I can't think of any right now.
I do think air fryer is a good one.
Air fryer is like
every
microwave.
Every adult is like, have you heard of this thing called air fryer?
Why is your adult automatically Filipino?
Because that's all the adults that I know.
Well, mom and dad, I was like, oh, get an air fryer. And they got like that massive one.
It just sits on the counter.
Yes, it's like a rocket ship. And then dad goes and like tries to like make something, but he like leaves the paper on there, so it like burnt. Jeez Louise.
Love you, Dad.
Are you listening, Dad? Did you make him listen?
He didn't want to. He was playing.
Want to.
It's ironic, actually, talking about adulting and being older. My dad, I think, has now switched. So like, he was adulting so well, but now all he wants to do is play like Roblox and Goat Simulator with my nephews.
Goat Simulator.
And I'm like, yes.
He said he can't play Goat Simulator anymore.
To give him stress.
No, because of the Illuminati. There's so many Illuminati references. So
I'm so confused.
You can ask him about it. He'll go on a whole spiel.
I don't know if I want to ask him about it anymore.
He told me every corner I took, it was Illuminati everywhere. Goat Simulator. Illuminati.
Mom said that it gave him high blood pressure.
That's one thing we haven't learned anything about is high blood pressure. He told me the other day, because I guess he like takes his blood pressure, and the cuff was like twisted, so it wasn't giving him the right one. He's like, oh, my blood pressure was like 200. And I was like, that means nothing to me. Like, what is 200? That's great, right?
I know. We need it.
Yeah, that's the next level of adulthood is blood pressure.
We have not arrived there yet, thankfully. But I mean, I have arrived at the acid reflux part of adulting, which is not fun, but
yeah.
We're trying. We're pushing.
Oh, we need to cut this. This is my butt's hurting. My legs are falling asleep.
All right. Well, I guess that I enjoyed that topic.
Yeah, it's good.
But I hope you guys also enjoyed this episode.
If you have any questions for us, there is a question box on Spotify that you can just ask any questions. My mom, do you remember the question Mom asked before we leave?
She asked multiple.
What? No, she didn't.
Well, it was 2 questions and 1 comment.
Keep going. Well, she said, I love that you guys are doing something together.
Yeah.
That's what she said for one.
Oh, no, I remember it. Do you want to do it now, or we can save that for another podcast?
Let me see.
Shout out to you, Mom. You're really
this is a good one. Let's end on this one.
Okay.
She asked, my mother asked, should I say it in her voice?
Yes.
Are close sisters now that you are older or when you are younger? Do you still get on each other's nerves? So she's asking, were we closer now or when we were younger, and do we still get on each other's nerves?
So first question is,
we're closer now.
We're closer now.
And I always tell people that we didn't get closer until I moved away.
Yeah,
because
100%.
we shared a room for the majority of our life, our teenage lives, and we just
hated each other's guts.
Yeah, we couldn't stand each other.
My sister would always get me in trouble for doing literally the stupidest things, which I could admit to now. But also,
I would get mad if I found one of my jackets on her floor. That's it. We're going to war.
We used to fight.
Do not touch my clothes. Do not touch anything that's mine. Don't go in my room. And she's like, I'm not. And then I'd find something of mine in her room. Like, how did this get here, Jasmine? And you're like,
okay,
no,
wait.
There.
You know, there's something.
You left it there.
There's just, I know. Yo, I would never came in your room. There's something about a scorned older sister that just makes my body like tense up and curl. But we were definitely not close until.
I mean, we didn't like hate each other. We just didn't get along very well. Like, we didn't go out of our way to like hang out with each other.
I think, and it's a whole different topic, but I think because you and Thomas got together at a young age, I felt like I was like, oh. Where's my sister? But then I shared a room with you, so you were still there, but just not there anymore.
So to answer that question, Mom, we get along better now. Do we still get on each other's nerves?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's like if I call her on a weekly basis, you know.
But it's better now because we have space.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't have to see each other every morning, every night. Like, we have space. And if I'm annoyed with her, if she's annoyed with me, we just don't talk to each other that day.
I'm definitely one that, like, if I'm mad at you and I'm on the phone with you, I'm just going to hang up.
You don't hang up. You say, okay, bye. Then you hang up. So I always tell sisters, especially, I think, for the most part, they don't get along. I say, once they move away, though, they're going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Some sisters are close from the get-go, which is great.
Can't relate.
Yeah, I can't relate. That wasn't us. We have maybe we could have a sisters episode about like embarrassing sister stories or something.
I mean, that's a great idea
in the future. But
yeah,
Mom, thank you for the question. If anybody else has a question, you can just leave it here on the pod. You can also leave us a voicemail if you want us to have your question answered.
Yeah, we would listen to it and answer your question, maybe live.
I don't know how to do it yet, but we'll figure it out.
We will figure it out. You can also follow us on Instagram now
at the Sispatch.
How many episodes have we done already? And you still can't get the name right.
At the Sispatch.
At the Sispatch. So make sure to follow that. Also,
you can email questions over at thesispatch@gmail.com.
But until next time, we hope you guys have enjoyed, and we will see you / talk to you in the next episode. This has been the Sispatch with
Bevin
and Jasmine.
Okay, bye!